This is Rev here, day 4 of my project where I just originally started out to do a complete exhaust from the manifold pipes all the way back to the catback exhaust system that comes out the back of the tail. But when you're doing your vehicle yourself, there's a lot of things that you can do that a mechanic shop won't do. Degrease and clean things and take their time and do stuff right and put different parts on to make it look better, clean them up. So my exhaust project turned out to be more than just getting 1 and 5/8 ceramic coated steel long tube headers, BBKs, and the mid pipes are BBK catless X pipes, and the catback exhaust system is the SLP loudmouth. So with that being said, you run into situations that while you have it off, you take care of it. Well, one thing we did notice is the A-frame. You can see the lower ball joints. The bushings is completely shot. Okay, and that's on both sides. This is the left front, it's the driver's side, right front, passenger side. And you can see how rusted the K member is, or excuse me, the A member is, because it's shaped like an A. That's why they call it the A. But this is the lower ball joint, and these are your sway bar bushings and bolt right here. So I could do a easy thing and save money and just get these pressed out, take it to a shop, have them press it out and press the new ones in. But since this is so rusted, I don't even want to deal with these anymore. So I was going to get the tubular A-frame, but it was a little bit more expensive than what my budget allowed for. So I went with the traditional A-frames like these. They're black, and they got the new bushings in them. They should arrive here today. Also, I'm gonna get new motor mounts, and my brake pads are, can't see up in there, but my brake pads are up in there. I'm going to change the brake pads while I have it apart. And here's the K member. I got it all degreased and cleaned up, and it's looking pretty good. Now we take a walk over on this side. There's my left and right wheel hub assembly for the front with the struts on there. And there's the caliper bracket holder. There's the other brake caliper holder. And there are the rotors, the front rotors, the big 13-inch rotors. Now, it did take me a while to get that lower A-frame from out of here. Everything seems to be rusted. It is a 99, but it looks very well on the outside, but the underneath on certain things begins to show its age. So what I intend to do is I'm going to degrease that, and I'm going to shine that all up with my wire wheel, get all the rust off of it, and we're going to put some paint on there that prohibits rust. and it won't get that way anymore. If you look at it, the wheel hub, you can see how rusted it is. It's really rusty, and it's rusted. It's pretty rusty, and the backing plate is rusty, but there's no problem. It's well greased, spins well, so I have no problem with that. And that's on both sides. So I have those apart. So I'm going to use my wire wheel and get these cleaned up nice and good. I'm going to paint these black. I'm going to paint the rotors black, get these all cleaned up here, paint all that surface black, and where the fins are, I'm going to paint all that black. And you can see the rust on the inside of here. I'm going to clean that up with a wire wheel in there, and we're just going to leave that nice and clean. We're not going to paint that. We're going to leave that nice and silver and shiny. So I got a lot of work ahead of me. And then here's the inside of the rim, which I'm going to sand that down, smooth it out, and I'm going to paint this black. And all back here is going to be black, but the front of the rim is going to stay chrome. Just behind it is going to be black. So that's what my goal is. And I have all the parts that I need coming in. I'm expecting the A-frames sometime later this evening around 5:30 or 6 with the ball joints, the lower ball joints in them. I'm expecting the outer tie rods. There's my outer tie rods. You can see how rusty those things are. So I got new tie rods coming, the outer tie rods, to go with my new racket pinion. So those will be here today, and my motor mounts will be here today. And I also ordered front brakes. They will also be here today. And then one last thing that I ordered that should be here Thursday is this was my Cook's X-pipe, high flow cat X-pipes. And you can see the O2 sensors here in the front, which I got the extensions because I got long tube headers to go on, and I got to transfer those over to the other X-pipe, which is in that box there. But the rear, okay, they are going to notice that this X-pipe will not have catalytic converters on it. So my check engine light will be on. So to get rid of the check engine light, I've ordered MIL eliminators. And all you do is take these off, the O2 sensors off, and put them on the catless X-pipe, the BBKs, and then you just connect them into the end here, and then the other part connects into the other side that's on the passenger side. Then the driver's side, you connect it in here, and it connected in there. And that will fool the computer into thinking that you have catalytic converters on there. And I also have SCT ×3 tuner. So I'll have to put my custom tuner in there to upgrade it to tell a computer to delete the OME manifold pipes, the original manifold pipes that came with this car, which are in the boxes disgustingly. So I have to convert that in the SE tuner to long tube headers, and then I have to put in there the X pipe, catless X pipes, put that in there, and the SLP loudmouth catback exhaust systems. I will upgrade that into the system so the car can correct the horsepower. I should have a gain between 20 to 30 horsepower with the long tube headers, because that's one of the advantages of the long tube headers. When air comes into the vehicle, it's sucked right into those straight tubes there, and they flow right back through there with no problem. So I should see a gain of 20 to 30 horsepower easy. And with the supercharger on here, I had it dynoed at 466 horsepower to the rear. So this big boost of 30 pounds will probably put me around 480, 490, just shy of 500. And that's my magic goal, is just to be no more than about 500 horsepower. That's all I need with this thing. I don't crave to be a horsepower nut, but that's enough horsepower for a vehicle this size to get down the road. And it's mostly a show car, like I said. So I'm not going to be doing any crazy burnouts or anything. This is a show car for me, because it's a beautiful looking car, and I want to keep it that way. So those are the things that I'm looking to do, and I'm going to go online, and I may just order some new front wheel hubs, and if they're not too expensive, I may probably just go ahead and order them, because these things are really rusty. I have good confidence that I can get them all cleaned up and get them all oiled and looking good. We'll see how that goes, but I might, if they're not that expensive, I may order the whole new wheel hub kit and put it on. But that's how I am. I was a diesel mechanic, and as a diesel mechanic, what I did, I rebuilt engines, transmissions. I worked with air conditioners, electrical. I did a lot of stuff in the diesel mechanic field. So just converted it over to your car engines, your electric engines, the gasoline engines instead of diesels. And so it's really not much difference between the two. So I just transferred the work from there to over here, and it's just something that I love to do on my spare time. And so I'm taking my time on this because it's December 4th, and I don't drive it much anyway, probably once a month. So probably around the middle of the month, end of the month, I'll have it all set and ready to go, and have everything ready to plug and play, and listen to those that exhaust system, how nice and rich it's going to sound. So this is where we're at, and I got a lot of cleaning to do. So this is the relaxing part of the job, is just cleaning up a bunch of stuff. But what I really want to do, I don't know if I'll get this done today, hopefully, is this K-member. The tubular part of the K-member here, I want to get that wire wheeled and clean, and then I may sand a little bit on this, and then I may go ahead and just spray paint it a green to make it look nice and good. I don't know why I'm doing it, because you'll never see the K-member anyway. So I'll know it, and especially when you put the fender shroud back up underneath there, you'll never see that K-member. Most people don't even know what a K-member is, so you'll never see it. But I got it all clean and degreased. There's no oil on it. So, I mean, I could install it like that, but yeah, I'm going to clean it up. I don't think I want to spend time painting it. I may not, but I know I got to clean that tubular part of the K-member that holds the suspension in pretty good. And so that's where we are now. And then we'll enjoy it this spring and summer, and next year what we'll do, we'll do the rear end. We'll change the rear axles out. We'll do the upper and lower sway bars. We'll get those done, and we'll clean up underneath there. If I have to get the two new axles slide in there, and get everything back there looking nice